In this video, I'm going to be comparing the Shun Premier 6.5-inch utility knife to the Global GS3, which is a 13 centimeter small cook's utility knife. The reason I'm doing this is because both of these knives stand out from across the room, so a lot of times people find themselves choosing between these two when they're trying to figure out which knife set to buy. Let's talk about the similarities. Both are Japanese knives. Both are very, very sharp and have relatively similar cutting angles, 16 degrees for the Shun Premier and 15 degrees, a little bit thinner, a little bit sharper for the Global. On top of that, both have lifetime warranties, which is great. Now let's talk about the differences, and there are many. While both are actually handmade knives and they are forged and whatnot, the manufacturing process for Global is a little bit different than one might expect. This looks like it's all one piece, but in fact it's actually a two-piece knife. The handle and the blade are both forged and made separately. The handle is filled with sand and then welded back onto the blade. The reason for that is ergonomics and weight. The sand allows you to have a very specific, very nice weight to the knife and help make it light and cool. But the con is that you now have a weak point right here. While there are very, very rare stories, there are stories nonetheless of the knives breaking on the weld point, and that's the last thing you want when you're dealing with sharp objects. The Shun is a more traditionally made knife. It is forged, it has a full tang going all the way through to the end, and the handle is this beautiful brown pakkawood. Pakkawood is a compressed resin-filled wood, so it stands up amazingly well, and it's very resilient when it comes to water and staining and things like that. The next thing to note is the actual material of the blade. Global uses a relatively soft Chromova 18, while Shun uses a very, very hard VG Max steel. So the Global is about 56 to 58 hardness, and the Shun is about 61 hardness. The difference in those numbers is this. The Shun is going to hold an edge and keep it very, very, very well. The Global is going to dull very quickly, but it's going to be able to withstand more abuse. In my mind, you shouldn't be abusing a knife anyway, so you're going to always want to have the hardest metal you can for your knife. The next thing is, the Global is essentially just a piece of Chromova 18 that's been forged into a knife. The Shun is a piece of VG Max, like I said, but it then has 34 layers of stainless steel folded into it, which gives it that gorgeous Damascus pattern, but also makes it extremely resilient to rust and to stains and to pitting. And then on top of that, the upper half of the blade is also hammered, which not only looks great, but helps release it from food. So like I said, both of these knives have a lifetime warranty, but the Shun also comes with a lifetime of free sharpening, which I think is a deal breaker. The reason is this. With knives like this, if you take it to a reputable sharpener who's doing it by hand, it's going to cost you about $5 per inch to sharpen the blade. That means that a 6-inch blade like this, a tiny blade like this, is going to be $30 out the door roughly to sharpen it. That adds up very, very quickly, and you never really know if you're going to get a good knife back or if you're going to be one of those horror stories that people always read about when it comes to knife sharpening. With the Shun, all you do is you send it to Shun, they look at it. If they see any problems, they throw it away and send you a brand new one. Otherwise, you can rest easy knowing they're going to put the exact same edge back on the knife that you fell in love with originally. So as you can see, there are pros and cons to both. I'm going to put a link down to both of these below. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you very soon. In this video, I'm going to be comparing the Shun Premier 6.5-inch utility knife to the Global GS3, which is a 13 centimeter small cook's utility knife. The reason I'm doing this is because both of these knives stand out from across the room,